Shalom, shalom. Keep in mind, I haven't had my coffee yet. But communism. Someone was talking to me about communism, so I was like, okay. It's like, bet. So, I was comparing what he was saying to the history of communism. I was even about to bring up Animal Farm. I mean, basically, I was illustrating the concept of an example of someone in our life supporting certain values in speech, but not in action. And this is quite common. And I was trying to paint it. I thought I might not have been I don't think I was articulating myself very good, but very well. But what kind of threw me off was when he said, "I don't care about communism." I'm like, what the fudge? What do you mean you don't care about Like, why are you talking about it then? It's like, dude. I was gonna recommend I was gonna recommend watching Animal Farm, because Animal Farm's fictitious, but it basically gives you a brief overview of what a lot of people will tell you has been their experience with communism. So if you look at a lot of people's stories, not just Russia, not just Cuba, a lot of people's experiences with communism, the striking contrast between what communist leaders espouse and how it actually plays out. I think this was similar, and I don't believe this was a communist regime, but I think it was there was a Middle Eastern country. What was it? The Green Book. Somebody had made this idea of a kind of utopian government, and the values in the book were contrasted by the reality of of what actually happened. Oh, what's up? I'm starting to find myself get cynical, and I'm trying not to. It's just the way some people talk. Instead of saying, "I don't understand where you're coming from exactly," especially if they interrupt you while you're trying to explain yourself, and then they feel silly for not understanding it, they just say they don't care anymore, and that's where it's like, please stop. And I'm actually kind of glad. I kind of want to go and apologize for being a bit demeaning to him, but I also, it's like, you're talking bad about Grandpa. Now, I will admit that I have my own issues with Grandpa, but I really don't want to go around saying horrible things. I've gotten so much in progress with trying to forgive the people around me in my life. I don't want to be constantly reminded of all the things of the people in my life, of all their sins, and have to forgive them all over again. So it's like when somebody is constantly like, "Hey, you remember when your mom or when your grandfather or your uncle did this bad thing to you?" It's like, I'm trying not to. I want to forgive them, so I don't want to remember those things, and I want to move on and live, in grace and forgiveness and love, and cry and be more Christ-like. So yeah, I don't want to remember those things. No, I don't want you to constantly remind me of those things, because it puts me in a bad mood. You know what I mean? How are my holidays? Oh, they were oh yeah. It was a bit rough. I got sick. How about you? It was good to see family, though. Oh, fuck. How were your holidays? Yeah. But it's like, dude, for heaven's sake, stop. It's like, if I bring up something playfully, I don't want to hear Grandpa's so terrible and rah, rah, rah. So I'm trying so hard to get to the next step in my development as a human being, and I'm trying to let this. And I'm about to put some more stuff in storage. I don't know if I'm going to be moving out too soon or not yet. I don't know. I don't know. It's been a while since I moved out. Getting things into storage is a huge win in and of itself. That's huge. Like that's half the battle. Don't didn't want to see anyone because I was sick, yeah, and annoyed of everything and questioning my life choices, yeah. Jeez, that sounds dude. It's funny. It's like, man, I went to college, university, second university, third university, and even finding a single job is like, and like even finding like I'm sure there are jobs out there that would hire me in an instant, but I just don't know which ones those are and what fields those are. And there are plenty of fields that relate to my level of expertise. It's just like finding these people. You know what I mean? It's finding these people. It's finding like the jobs themselves that relate to your degrees or your experience or that you're at least qualified for. It's finding these blooming things. And then you I shouldn't have insulted him, but if I apologize, it often makes it worse, man. I feel bad. I don't want to run back in there. I just gotta be careful with talking to him. It's just I don't want to hear about how bad Grandpa is or about how bad Mom is. It's a dangerous cycle when you talk bad about people. It's like there's like it's such a dangerous game to play. I don't want to play it. It's like, how does me bringing up the housing crisis, how does that go into Grandpa's a selfish piece of, and it's like, whoa, whoa. It's like, where the fudge did that come from? It's like, Grandpa's not. And it's like, oh, he voted for so and so. It's like, okay. Fudge. I just don't know what to do with all that. He did vote for so and so or whatever. It's like, okay. So. Like, he was voting based on the media that he consumes, which is mostly the radio. And, you know, on the radio, yeah, he, like in the radio in the country, he gets a very different kind of person talking. And, you know, the media that he consumes is very different than the media that we consume online. So it's, yeah. It's like a lot of people do that. They vote based on what they are exposed to. And I don't like to get into politics. It's like, whatever. They vote for whoever. Who cares? I mean, it is what, you know, it's not worth ruining a relationship over that. Jeez. You not who you're talking about. Who am I talking about? It's just, I have a hard time talking to him. I feel bad insulting his intelligence, but it's just sometimes, you know, one of the things I've noticed is I don't tend to insult people's intelligence who give me a chance to explain what they don't understand, because we all have like gaps in our understanding and we all have rough days, etc. Like, I give grace to most people. It's just there's this one person who I know who, if I try to explain something to him, he'll like immediately interrupt me. So it makes it like impossible for me to explain it, because if it's something that will take me like 5 sentences to explain something, it's a more difficult concept, or like not like a basic understanding, or if maybe I'm just not awake enough to articulate myself correctly, or more succinctly, and it's like, well, you got to let me explain it. And if you're not going to let me explain, if you're just going to constantly interrupt me, then yeah, then I get more insulting, and I don't like becoming that. But it's like, you're not listening, you're not paying attention, you're not taking in what I'm trying to convey to you. So it's like, you're being incredibly disrespectful, and my so it's like it's I think it's more of a it's largely an emotional response. Whereas before, I might withhold that kind of insult and be like, oh, it's okay, we're all learning, have the positive attitude. But like, when you're being disrespectful to me on that level, it's like, okay, well, then no. And it's like, and then of course it's like, well, I don't want to talk about that or whatever. It's like, well, you're the one that brought it up. You're the one that was talking about that subject. You brought up communism. I'm trying to explain something about communism, the history of communism, something that used to be common knowledge to people about communism. And it's like the history of communism. It's not like it's unknown. It's something that was explored in, like Animal Farm, things like that. It's a very, very, very simple thing to explain. It took me a little while. I realized I could have explained it in a few words, but I'm still waking up. I haven't had my coffee yet. So, it took me a little while to explain it. And it's like, it's one of those things, like if I was talking to somebody from that generation who grew up with, learning about communism, there's a good chance they would understand what I was trying to say, like much earlier on, if they were really listening, because it's not unknown that the people who were pushing communist ideologies were saying one thing, and but in practice another thing was happening, right? Like, this is a common theme. It's you give a good idea, you get a following, and then in practice you don't really take those values once it's being practiced, because like 95% of the time, the people espousing these values just want more power. Maybe more than 95%. A lot of the people who espouse these ideas, they just want more power. And if they have more power, then total equality goes out the window. Because otherwise, if they actually utilize that in practice, then they wouldn't have the power, right? You can't have power and like total equality; they just don't go together. Those two ideas don't mesh completely. So, understanding that is key to understanding what I was trying to explain, where he was saying that someone in the family was a communist, and that what he believed in and the way he lived it out were two different things. And I was basically trying to allude to the fact, well, yeah, that's quite common for communists, actually. I wasn't going to say that the family member in question was literally a socialist or a communist, but I was trying to point out that there's a historical precedent for this, and I was hoping that he understood that there was a historical precedent for this. But if you don't understand the history of things like socialism and communism, then you might want to, read up a little bit more and before you start accusing other people of being socialist and communist, because, that conversation is a very deep one, and the history behind those movements, like it's key to have at least a working fundamental understanding, like I do. I don't know a whole lot about it, but I have a working fundamental understanding of the history behind it, and it's pretty pivotal to have that before really delving into that kind of discussion. Otherwise, you're kind of empty-handed. Not that I want to spend a lot of my time talking about communism or socialism. It's a pretty boring subject. I mean, it can get exciting at times, but it also, when it gets exciting, it often gets exciting in a bad way. It's a bad taste in your mouth. So it's not my favorite cup of tea. It's not like something I want to spend hours talking about. But I was like, if we are going to talk about it, like I want to ensure that we have some understanding. And he's like, oh, I'm not gonna research that. And I was like, well, then don't talk about it. Like the history of like communism and socialism, at least understanding, that it played out much differently than, it was promised as, fancy gift wrap, but a piece of poop under the wrapping paper. Like, if you don't understand that basic, historically understand that basic, like foundational aspect of the subject matter. Like if you look at Cuba, you look at Russia, if you don't have to know uh, what Middle Eastern nations did and did not enter the Iron Curtain. You don't need to know this or that. You don't need all the details. No, but like just a basic understanding is very important on this particular topic. Again, I wasn't even the one that brought the subject up, so I really was not want to talk about it anyway. I kind of want to apologize for making him sound silly because of the way I was talking to him, but I get so frustrated when people interrupt me. It's like, well, explain it to me. And I start explaining it, and it's like immediately interrupted. And it's like, what the fudge do you want me to do? You want me to explain it to you, or you want me not to explain it to you? It's like as soon as I start explaining it to you, you interrupt me. Like, no, like that is incredibly inappropriate. No. So of course I got mad. And it was all being brought up. What's this? Enjoy 25% discount. And like the whole thing got brought up because it's like you're talking bad about our grandfather. Like, I don't want to talk bad about our grandfather, dude. You're making me mad talking about that. I don't want to talk about grandpa in that way. It's like, sure, he wronged me. He wronged a lot of people. He definitely wronged me. And doesn't like I want to make like the ending better than it started, man. Like, it started terribly. I want to make a good ending. I want to give him another chance. I want to see where we can take things in a positive, healthy way. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, plenty of people wrong us in our lives. And it's like, you don't give up on those people all the time, And I don't need to spend all my time talking trash about somebody. And if I really don't care about somebody, I'm not going to spend my time talking about them all the time. You tend to talk about people you care about. You don't talk about people you hate. Oh, you might talk about people you hate, but you don't talk about people you don't care about. Sorry, yeah, because you can hate somebody you care about, but you definitely care about them if you're thinking about them like that. And that's pivotal. It's like, yeah, that's like, I still love Grandpa, and I still want to do what's right by him. It's like fudge, dude. Like, he doesn't have to deserve it, but I do eventually want to be able to, if I can find enough. It's already, and I'm in the midst of cleaning right now too. There's so much going on right now, so it's not like I have like infinite time and everything like I would have had much more of when I was a kid. That would have been the prime time for him to have stepped in, sure. But if I can find the time at some point, I would love to visit him. I don't know if that's going to happen, but, we'll see. We'll see. I'd like it to. I've prayed for him to have a longer life. He's made his share of mistakes for sure. Yes. He's made plenty of mistakes. I ain't denying that. But am I gonna say he doesn't deserve happiness anymore? No. I ain't gonna say that. Well, actually, maybe I would. The point isn't whether he deserves it or not. The point is can I give it to him? Can I give him happiness? Like, that's a way more, I think that's a far greater central focus than whether he deserves it. I mean, who deserves anything? I don't want to spend all my time just bad-mouthing these people who are major parts of my life, It's like, I get tired of that. I get tired, like, oh, he voted for so-and-so. Oh, he's so terrible. Rah, 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 rah. It's like, like, dude, I don't want to talk about dude, I am not a 12-year-old girl. I don't want to go around gossiping about these people and just make myself feel miserable. And then when I see them again, I'll be all angry. Like, no, we're not like 12-year-old children. We're adults. We're better than that. You know what I mean? Like, geez. This is pretty cool. So this is a phone holder, huh? It's got another. I might actually need that clip in the future. This is quite nice. This is quite a nice one. Very nice. Kind of glad I accidentally got one of the female bags, because this is pretty cool. This would be great for. Let me show you. I'm looking at. I got this in a holiday party. Let me show you. So it's a phone holder. And I think I accidentally grabbed one of the female bags because I also got pedicure stuff. Now, I'm not saying that guys never get pedicures, but it is not typically a male gift. But I will definitely take this, because this is good for stop motion photography. Now, the pedicure thing can go to my wife. This I'll keep this though. This is great for like stop motion photography. By the way, I do have a lot of traits that a lot of people would perceive of as feminine, you know, and you know, that's you know, it is what it is. I like the fine arts. A lot of people are like, that's a feminine thing or whatever. Like, well, yeah, it is, I guess, if you want to call it that. You know, it's not like it always makes a whole lot of money. It usually doesn't. But to be fair, there are plenty of jobs that are often associated with masculinity that also don't make money. It's hard making money in general these days. It's not necessarily, you know. But I don't know exactly why a lot of people downplay certain features of the human being, and males, and it's often done as like a pejorative too. It's like, that's feminine, so it's lesser. It's like, what? You know what I mean? Oh, fudge. Y'all left. I'm sorry. Let me get some coffee. I'll probably be a little bit more cheery after I had some coffee. I'll definitely be a little more chillier after I have some coffee. I'm gonna put, like, yeah, that's another thing too. Like, I can get a little bit more insulting and a little bit more upset and thinking in dangerous ways when I haven't had my coffee. Also, let me take this also in the house too, I think. Well, the antiperspirant, I guess I could keep it in the car. The CD, that's gonna have to eventually go into storage. A friend gave that to me. I don't mind having it, I just don't really have a place to put it. That's trash too. I don't think he understands when he talks bad about family members that that's what upsets me. You know, it's not, I'm not upset necessarily. It's like so much just like, oh, I hate you. That's not what it is. It's, I'm upset because you're talking bad about people I love and care about. Even if they've hurt me, I love them. You know, I don't want you to talk bad about them. You know what I mean? It's that simple. That's really all it comes to. It's that simple. I don't want you to talk bad about people I love, even if they've dreadfully hurt me. You know, it's like, it's nice to get, like, sometimes it does seem necessary to get certain things out about the history. Sometimes it is good to tell somebody, it seems. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but it does seem to, like, sometimes. But, like, once it's out in the air, now you know, and that's, you know, we can put a cap on that, and that's it. I don't want to make attacking people's character a major part of my personality. So so I get a little frustrated when people do that, you know, or I get a little frustrated when people do that. one of the things that I'm trying to figure out is how in the fudge how in the fudge are we going to be able to get back on our feet again? I got a second storage space so I can make room, because a portion of a bedroom is just not enough room for much. And yeah, it's like, let's see if I got a folder for these. It's like, yeah, dude, like what the fudge am I supposed to do? And oh, that's cool. Remember this? Just got this. And it's just like, yeah, it's like, what the fudge am I supposed to do? It's like I'm applying for these jobs. It seemed like I had really good. It seemed like we had really good rapport with the one people that I was talking with, the group of people I was talking with. At one point, it was like I thought I had this job, and then they're like, "It's basically nope." Again, I had 2 different interviews with them. It puts you off guard so much. It's like y'all, come on. I just need like one of y'all to hire me. I'm not asking for the highest pay or anything. I'm just asking for a flipping chance, dude. It's like, give me a chance. Somebody, like, I have the educational background, I have experience. Is it because I have lighter skin? Is it because I'm Jewish? Is it because I'm male? Is it because, like, what is the reasoning? And, oftentimes it does seem that, like, affirmative action keeps me from being able to get a job. And I don't want to think that way, but it often does seem based on the, based on what I have seen in the world and heard, and based on, like my background and still being denied these jobs, it seems that affirmative action is definitely a big part of it. I don't want to think that way. I really don't want to think that way. I don't want to believe that's true, but I think it is. Because at some point you got to ask yourself, well, if it's not true, then what's going on? Because it's like that one interview, like I nailed that one interview for sure. It's like, if I nailed that interview, then why didn't you call me back? And it's like, what other conclusions do I have to come by? What else could it possibly be? And it's upsetting. It's upsetting. It's like. It is. It's upsetting. It's like, I have all this experience. It's like, you don't have to hire me, but can you, like, direct me to, like, another job or another department or something? Like, can you give me something? Like, I am literally sleeping on a sofa. I have a horrible back, and I'm sleeping on a sofa. I'm not asking for $100 an hour. I'm asking for something that's like $20 an hour. Like, reasonable pay request. Extreme amount of background, and any aspects of my race or my ethnicity shouldn't be a factor. I know they often are factored in, but I'm getting to the point where I definitely wish that wasn't the case, because it can be both positive or negative depending on what they're looking for, and it's such a whole bunch of baloney. And it's like, I've noticed in the past that the jobs I get, it's like, immediately that you're hired almost. It's like, they'll be like, oh, yep, you got the job. It's not a question. You know what I mean? That when you get the job from some of these people, it's like, you already know you're getting the job. There's no question. Like, if you got the job, you know you got the job. And that's typically how it actually seems to go, and when it's actually played out, it's like, oh, well, we just got to ask you these questions for technical reasons, but, like, yeah, you definitely got the job. That's usually how it goes. Like, if I'm going to get the job, like right off the bat. You know what I mean? That's typically how it goes. I got to be careful how I get up and down, like I said, with my back. But, yeah. Yeah, you usually seem to know pretty quickly whether or not, yeah, like you have the job or not. Ow. Oh, fudge. I did apologize to him. He seems kind of upset. I was a bit mean to him. I'm not trying to be. I don't want to hear bad things about family members all the time. I really don't. And of course, if they're saying that about this or that family member, they're saying it about, probably gonna be saying about you too. It's like, it's not a safe place to be if you're joining into the gossip, because if you're gossiping about somebody, well, don't be surprised when you start hearing stuff about you, because that's where it's gonna come to. That's the natural conclusion of gossip, is being gossiped about. It's pretty obvious too. It's pretty obvious that that's going to be the case. And gossip is such a dangerous thing. It's not. It's definitely not a healthy. It's definitely not healthy. It's just not healthy. You don't want. You just don't want gossip to be part of your life. You don't. You don't want gossip to be a major part of your life. You don't want gossip to be a minor part of your life. Gossip is just bad. I might try ride sharing instead. There is a potential for things like higher tips with that. What's this say, minor? Oh, that actually might be a note. It'd be worth keeping a hold of. Oh, so much trash though. Holy fudge. It's biodegradable. Yeah, this needs to be washed. There's another pen. That's trash. that's trash. So let's throw this with the clothes. And then we'll take that in the back when we got all the clothes. Or at least most of them. What we believe. What church is this? I get so many of these from different churches. Fudge. A lot of Christians love that I'm Jewish. And a lot of them love that I'm a Jewish believer. It's like, I mean, to be fair, I don't think that's that surprising. Like I don't think that's that surprising when you come from a mixed family like I do. But for me, it's, I think, a little bit more surprising because, like, I legitimately went on searching. And one of the things I've noticed is when people search for the truth, they tend to come back from it. You know, people with different backgrounds. They tend to come back in two ways. Either Christianity or Judaism, or, you know, if they're already Jewish, if they were Jewish from birth, then they'd be Christian Jews. And that does seem to be the common theme, is people who go on, like, legitimately looking for the truth, not looking for an agenda or anything, but like looking for, like, what is real, what's reality. People tend to come to the Judeo-Christian tradition. Yeah, I did identify as an atheist for a while. I did. I identified. Oh fudge! Ow! I identified as an atheist for quite a while, actually. To the point where it's kind of shocking. I made a full come around. I came around. Yeah, I mean, like the fact that I came back to what you could call my roots, but also, I mean, like the Jewish aspect, since that's part of my ethnicity, you can see that's part of the roots. But like, well, why the Christian aspect? Why not just like Orthodox Judaism or something? Well, it's because, you know, like, I'm looking for, like, reality, like, what is real. Like, part of that search is, you know, arguably why I came temporarily across atheism, because I thought the atheist, you know, I thought that atheism, I thought it was a sensible position. And, you know, at a glance, it does seem that way. You know, it took me many more years of research before I finally came to something far more, far greater in truth, you know. But it took a while. It took a while to get to that point, you know. But that's actually. Yeah, these little knickknacks and things, they can. I had a bag for them. This one can actually stay in the car though, because this is actually, could be valuable. It's like when it's already hard to move up and down, up and down, up and down, especially when you get a bad back. Oh, the bad back is actually perhaps one of the big reasons I don't immediately go into something like becoming a parole officer, or what was the other one I was looking at? Not parole officer, sorry, the whatever the other one was, the other position that looked very, very appealing, but it's like, it's I mean, I can do push-ups and all that. It's just, depending on the day, getting onto my back, like that's in and of itself can be a struggle for me. Like, is it impossible for me? No. Does it feel good? Is it something that'll cause me significant and substantial amounts of pain? Yes. Yes, it will. So it's obviously not like anything that has to do with me getting on my, moving my back too much is obviously not my first priority in terms of what I want to do, right? So is it, like, am I capable of it? Absolutely. Like, I can defend myself if I need to, things like that. It's like, yeah, push comes to shove, I can definitely do things. Will I regret it for the next, 48 hours? Yeah, I might. And that's the thing. It's like, I can do a lot of these things, and then I can regret it very shortly thereafter. And I've learned to take the caveman part of my brain and kind of remind myself, it's like, look, yeah, you can do a lot of bending today, and then you won't be able to do it for the next week. Or you can be more careful with it, and you can get, and if when you do need to bend here and there, you'll still be able to function for the next week. That's largely what it comes down to. It's like, and of course, that's not even bringing up like the amount of pain that I will be putting myself through. But it's like, yeah, I used to push my body, and I pushed it over and over again over the years after the accident, and it's gotten worse and worse. And if I don't, at some point in my life, I have to just say, hey, you are in pain. And it's like, just because you're a man doesn't mean you need to constantly put yourself in pain. And you're getting to a point where you're in so much pain that you can barely move. When you push yourself like this, you need to stop doing this, because you're getting to a point where you're not functional anymore. So I got to the point where it's like, I got to take precautions, because I'm losing my ability to function as a human. I can't function anymore. And it's like, well, what good am I to anybody, any job, any prospects, if I can't move for hours? I'll exert myself one day, and then the rest of the week, I can't move at all. I can barely walk. Like that's not a healthy way of going about things. What's kind of sad too is I think a lot of people after the accident didn't realize how bad the accident was. They didn't see it, but like when the car hit me, I was in my bike. When the car hit me, I flew across the road, and I hit the pavement my hands might have helped me. I don't remember because I blacked out. And that's the thing, is like I hit myself. I got hit hard enough. The combination of the car and the pavement, I'm thinking. I got hit so bloomin' hard that I blacked out. Okay? By the way, I lost the case against the guy, too. Like, complete injustice. His lawyer was very, very sneaky kind of guy. But I think a lot of those really evil lawyers are. But, yeah, very evil lawyer. He was able to talk his way out. In a very unfortunate kind of way, but he knew what to say, he knew what to ask. He made me look really bad, because I had asked the lawyer beforehand. I think I'd asked the assistant as well. It's like, well, what do I say? Like, going into this, like this is a big deal. Like, what do you want me to say? Because, or not even what you want me to say. I don't even know if I said it that way. But like, basically what I was trying to get at was like, how do you want me to say this? Because like, you can say something that's true in like 10 different ways, or well, clearly more than 10 ways. But you can say the same thing that's true in so many different ways, and it can make you either look really good or really bad depending on how you say it. It's not always what you're saying, but how you're saying it. The truth remains true regardless, but, how you frame something or how you explain, the events that occurred can be night and day. And they're like, oh, don't worry about it. We got this. We're going to win this. It's an easy peasy case. And the guy completely, like, he had asked what he thought went wrong to his assistant after they lost the case. I can tell you, it's pretty obvious, especially since I've had years to reflect on this. It's very obvious to me now. But I don't think, even at the time, I don't think it's necessarily the hardest thing to have understood. The reason he lost the case wasn't because there was an injustice. It wasn't because that I should have lost the case or that he should have lost the case. because he was my lawyer. The reason he lost the case is pretty simple, because he underestimated the defendant's lawyer. Now, it's true in many of these cases, these people can't afford a good lawyer. They don't come from a family that has a lot of wealth that can relate to. This guy apparently came from at least some money because his lawyer was really good. And he was paying out of pocket because he was defending himself for hitting somebody with his car, meaning that lawyer was coming out of either his pocket or somebody in the family's pocket. I think it was somebody in the family. Well, at the end of the day, what does that mean? It means the family had money. A lawyer being paid a lawyer being paid, in a case where they're not going to make any money, they're already losing money. It's all coming out of the defendant's pocket or somebody in his family. The reason they lost the case was they were underestimating the lawyer, and it's true. It's a good chance, like in maybe like 7 out of 10 of these kind of cases, maybe the majority of the time you're dealing with people who can't afford or don't want to afford a lawyer. They might have one provided for them in these cases oftentimes, and like a public defendant isn't going to be nearly as tactful or apply as much skill, I would think, typically. So you got an easy peasy case. You got obvious injustice. You got the defendant's lawyer is not going to be like giving it his all because he's not getting paid as much as the private lawyers. There's a good chance that you have an easier win. I don't think he expected them to have a top-notch, older, seasoned lawyer. And my lawyer they picked one of the younger guys who was less experienced. If he was more experienced, he might have anticipated that being the possibility. And when I asked, when I was trying to communicate, how do I word, how do I respond? Because I think I even asked him, hey, let's have a test where you ask me questions that he might ask, and I can give answers, and we can go over the answers I give. And he was like, oh, we don't need to do all that. And it's like, well, what the fudge? What do you mean we don't have to do all that? That's pivotal to understanding this case. And I thought that was a really good idea because at the time, and even to this day, I sometimes have my difficulties articulating myself, especially in certain contexts and social contexts. If I'm unfamiliar with this social, of this social environment, I might want to know, have a better grasp on how to interact in this alien environment, this alien atmosphere that I'm not as familiar with. So but nope. And see, I was very disappointed with those lawyers in that firm because, maybe not all the lawyers, but at least that particular lawyer at the firm, because I think I started to realize I didn't have the best lawyer when he came into the firm, and he said something. I think he was belittling. It was one or more, but he was at least one of the accountants he was belittling, and it's And he didn't do that to his assistant, who was male, but he did it to one of the female accountants. It's okay, this is probably not the guy I want defending me. I don't know if I thought those exact. I didn't think those exact words at the time, but I think that was kind of you start to realize oh, this is not probably the best lawyer to have. And he was also young. He must have just graduated high school, gone to college and university, just passed the bar. This kid was young. I think he was about my age at that time. This kid was young, and maybe a bit of a prodigy, but it's still a kid in a sense, very, very young lawyer, and not the best match. They probably gave him the case thinking this is going to be thinking the odds are that this is going to be an easy case to win. And it would have been if he had a public defender instead of having a out-of-pocket paid lawyer. If he had a public defender, he would have lost 100%. He would have lost probably. I mean, not 100%, but upwards, getting close to 100%. If he had just average Joe Schmo public defender come in, odds are he would have lost the case. No, that was a paid lawyer. That was a well-seasoned paid lawyer He might have been a friend of the family. Who knows? That guy, he was the reason. He was the reason I essentially lost the case. I still got some money, which I think was from the insurance company. I still got some money. Like I got like $2,000 or something. I didn't. I don't know if that was from the lawyers because they felt bad, or if that was actually from the insurance company. I don't know. Like, we still got something, but like, if we had won the case in court, we would have been looking at way more than that. Especially since my back problems still hurt me to this day. So it's like, it's pretty terrible. It's pretty terrible. It's something I think about daily because I'm in constant pain, like every day. So it's like, it's not like, unless I get back surgery, maybe. Like, aside from that, like, this is something I got to deal with the rest of my life, and yeah, it's like fudge, dude. It's like, it's just, I don't know that younger lawyers, I think maybe when they get older they might realize this. Like, if they lose a case where justice was on the side that they were fighting for, if they lose those kind of cases, it can ruin lives, right? Like in my case, right? Like, it can really hurt people. So, you like the good lawyers that are out there, you got to feel for them, because, I'm not saying the lawyer I had was necessarily a nice guy, but he was also a kid. But, the lawyers that actually do have a good conscience on them, you got to feel for them, because if they do lose a case like mine, that could actually weigh on them a bit, unfortunately. Which is one of the reasons I wonder if, like, whatever it was, the 1,000, 2,000, whatever it was that they had sent me, or actually it might have been less than that. It might have been like a few hundred. I don't remember. It's been so long ago. They sent me something in the mail, but I wonder if that was out of the lawyers' pockets because they felt bad. It's kind of sad. It's kind of sad. It didn't help that the kid came to the court case with alcohol in his breath. It's like, dude, don't come defending me, or sorry, don't come. I wasn't the defendant, but don't come to court drunk. Like, dear heavens, guy. It's like, geez, this young lawyer coming to court drunk. It's like, geez. It's like, come on, guy. Like, really? Like, come on, dude. Like, you know better than that. Like, that's obviously not what you do. He wasn't like blackout drunk or anything. He was still... Oh, fudge. I mean, he was cognizant enough, by comparison to, like, a lot of other people, but, like, it's like, really, dude? Of course, the big thing is, like, you know better than that. You are a big boy. You know better. You got to be a big boy. Hey. They should know better. They do know better. They just don't always act on it. It's like, they know better than that. Like, flipping, hey, dude. That's a common story. I'll say it again and again and again and again and again. I will repeat that story many times, probably, because... Now, I'm not naming the lawyer in question right now. I don't know if I ever will. But I do wish him the best. He was a young lawyer. There was a lot of... it should have been a good case to get his toes wet, which I presume is what the firm was doing. If it's like, oh, he'll win this. Like, how would he lose a case? The guy hit him with a car while he was on a bike in a crosswalk. It's like, that's not the kind of case you think, oh, yeah, he's going to lose that. It's like, you think, like, oh, you think, like, even if he has a serious mental disorder, it's like, how would he possibly lose that case? Like, that's in the bag. That's not how it always works, though. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. People think it is. People think, like, there are certain things that happen in the courtroom or whatever. It's like, oh, like, there's no way we could lose this. That's, nope, not how it works. Some more artwork. Ah. Accidentally booped it. I did not mean to accidentally boop it. That was not my intention. That's what we'll do. We'll get some of this stuff out of there, and we'll move some more stuff in a little bit. Well,